A big puzzle. Why are Americans so negative about the direction of the U.S. economy? We've got an important question here at Gallup that we've been puzzling over for the last several days since the results of our latest poll came in. If you have an answer for this question, please email us here at the Daily Briefing and we'll share it with all the other viewers. You'll remember yesterday on our Daily Briefing we talked about the fact that a relatively small and stable percent of Americans say the economy is the most important problem facing the country. So far, so good. But our new data where we ask Americans specific questions about the economy show that Americans are very, very negative, and we're not sure why. Look at this question, probably the most important one out of the sequence. In your opinion, is the United States economy getting better or getting worse? We are now at a position where 70%, 7 out of 10 Americans say the U.S. economy is getting worse. Look at the trend graph on this since January of this year. Almost every month, Americans have been becoming more and more negative. When we go back in history, we find there have been several times when about this many Americans said the economy was getting worse, but to be technically correct, we have to go all the way back to 2001 to find a time when Americans were this negative about the direction of the U.S. economy. The question is why the stock market is actually doing quite well, as we all know at this point, the Dow well above the 13,000 mark. And when we ask Americans, is now a good time or bad time to find a job, although Americans aren't ebullient, they're certainly no more negative than they have been at other times over the last several years. Another clue, maybe, we thought would come from our question, what is the most important personal financial problem facing your family? Maybe we thought gas prices were causing Americans to become so negative about the direction of the economy. You can see the results here. Although the percent who mention gas prices, energy cost as the number one problem facing their country is up some, it's not overwhelming. In fact, this general pattern of results where Americans are worried about health care, lack of money, gas prices, cost of owning a home, retirement, college, and so forth is generally what we've been seeing all this year, particularly at times when Americans weren't so negative. So we're left with this same basic question, why are Americans so negative about the direction of the economy? One answer, Americans are just negative in general at this point. President Bush's job approval rating is low. Job approval for Congress is low. Overall satisfaction with the way things are going in the U.S., very low. So in general, we may simply be picking up a broad malaise on the part of the American public rather than something very specific to the economy. Tomorrow on the Daily Briefing, we'll look in more depth at some of these other measures, including in particular satisfaction with the way things are going and approval of the job being done by Congress. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup Poll with Democracy on Demand. Take the Daily Briefing with you. Search for Gallup at the iTunes Music Store.